Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. Somebody emailed me this picture and want to know how to make it. I think it stands for no copyright, but I'm not 100% sure. I've seen this somewhere and asked. Their main concern is the C is not a normal C, and they want to know how to get the space between the C and the other part. So we're going to make the outer part first. We're going to make an ellipse. I'm going to make it half of a point. That's about the right size. Let's reduce it to about the size of the drawing. Now you can see it's a little bit thicker, so let's make it a little bit less thick. And if you remember from watching my videos, you can always type in another number that's not there. We're going to go ahead and go up to Object and convert the outline to an object, and we're going to left click, right click, even though we don't have to. Now we're going to take you could use a rectangle, but since this was a 2-point line, and we know that it's 0.45, and we can turn it into an object, and left click, right click. And this is where center of the page will really help you. Let's put that in the center of the page. Let's put this in the center of the page, and let's rotate it a negative 22.5 degrees. No, it must be 45. So a negative 45. And that's really all you need. Now we're going to go ahead and this is all uniform in between. So let's just take our virtual sigma delete key and delete this outer part, delete these inner parts, delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that. Now, when I do something like that, I'm going to take my Smart Fill tool. We'll go ahead and use red. And then that made it all one unit. As you can see where this is broken lines, now this is not. And you don't have to hit your calculator. Now, let's make this C. So it's basically another ellipse. You know what, since we're going to kind of go into almost a scale, I don't really think that matters, but let's start about the center, holding down the control and the shift key. And we're going to make this is actually thicker looking, so let's make it 5 points. I must have had the other thing, so no, I still got that selected. Let's make it. There we go. That's about, see, and this is a little bit big, so let's go 0.55. Make it about the right size. Now let's go ahead and turn it into an outline for an object, and left click, right click. What I'm going to do is take my drawing now, and I'm going to go to the transparency tool, and I'm going to make the thing a little bit more transparent so we can see it better. I'm just going to take two-point lines. You could actually use a rectangle, starting about right there and go here. We just need to now expand it out, take the pick tool and expand that out. And now we can actually take, and that'll go away in a minute, so don't worry about that. We can smart fill this in now. And see now, let's use black. And now we have that C, and let's hit P and put it in the center of the page. I like that. Let's turn that transparency back so we can see a little better. And let me get rid of this stuff I added. Now we need to take this C and go up to Object, Order, Back a Page. And we get that line. Now, that's part of his question. The other part was how would you get this line? There's two ways to do it. Maybe probably the easiest is to left click, right click. And we could do it several different ways, but let's just take a 2-point line and let's rotate it a negative 45 degrees. Negative 45 degrees. And let's put it right on that line. Now I'm going to make another one, plus key, put it there. Now, this will be a lot simpler if we group this together for a second and we rotate it to negative 45 degrees totally. And that put this perpendicular. So now we can go up to object and group and ungroup. And I'm going to get my red line might not be long enough on that one. To make sure it's long enough to go over the, whoop, I moved it. Just make sure it's long enough, and it is. Now, we can set our nudge factor on something pretty low, like 0.01. And we can take this red line and just 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Take this one down, arrow key 1, 2, 3, 4. And we could rotate it back now, but we don't have to. What we can do is, see, there's no white. The white is just between there. So I'm going to take the Smart Fill tool, set on black. I'm going to fill that in, that in, that in. Now what we can do is take our red lines away by hitting delete. And since this is actually behind there, the easiest thing to do is just to swipe through there. And then we're going to take our Smart Fill tool, set on red, and fill in everything in red. Now we're going to group it together, Control G, and we're going to rotate it 45 degrees. And there you have it. I think we're dead on. There's a lot of ways you can get that. Well, also what we need to do, since everything is an outline, we can take it now. I can see some line. We can right click and no outlines. Now, this has some white. You know, if we look at this with the yellow box trick, it's transparent. So if they were going to print it, they could put white in here very easily just by taking the Smart Fill tool. And of course, they'd want to, if they're going to print it, they'd want to use CMYK, most likely. And there you have it. Anyway, pretty little fun, easy project. Hope that helped them, and thank you for watching.